Let's talk about Harry Maguire. He's been stripped of the Manchester United captaincy, as we just heard. It was him that revealed it on social media. He said that Erik ten Hag outlined his reasons to me, and whilst I'm personally extremely disappointed, I will continue to give my all every time I wear the shirt. Now, those days wearing that shirt might be numbered. In fact, we might have seen his last game in that shirt. But Rory, firstly, do you think it's a bit of a surprise that this had to be revealed by Maguire himself on social media?
Yeah, that is rare, isn't it? It is rare that the player has come out and acknowledged that his departure is presumably innocent and he no longer features in the plans of the manager. The thing for Maguire is, under normal circumstances, you would say that this could be okay. Like, there's no shame in being second fiddle to Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. So I think you can position this one way, saying Harry Maguire's future in the Premier League is certainly secure. Maybe his future with England is certainly secure. And we anticipate seeing him play in Premier League football again very soon. But it doesn't feel like that. No. It really doesn't feel like that. It feels like he is struggling.
In the post, he said it was a long discussion with the manager. How long do you actually think that discussion might have been?
Less than a minute. Less than 1 minute. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah. He's been linked with West Ham quite heavily. I think they only want him on a loan deal at the moment. I think Manchester United obviously are pushing for more of a permanent move. Now, obviously, it's the Euros next summer. And whether it's the right call or not, Gareth Southgate has stayed very loyal to him. And actually, let's be fair, at major tournaments, he hasn't really put too much of a foot wrong.
This winds me up, this theory, Ollie. I thought you were better than this. Genuinely.
He hasn't, has he? Really?
Yes, he has. It's a complete misnomer that Harry Maguire has played well for England. There are countless examples of Harry Maguire making a pig's ear of some situations for England. But secondly, it's really important to acknowledge what life is like playing for England. When England play, England are one of the best teams. I would say that currently, player for player, England are the best team in the world. I've never seen a crop of players like this. We are truly sensational. And all you have to do is look at the players that don't get in the England team to deduce that this is an exceptional England side.
During Maguire's time playing for England, who would you have had in ahead of him?
That isn't the issue. My issue is when people say for a large chunk
into 2 semi-finals.
For a large chunk of Maguire's time with England, I'd say 50% of it, I would have said that he should be playing for England.
Right.
My issue is when people say that he's never let us down, I think that isn't just not true. And my other issue, which I think is far more important, England are so good. 90% of games that England play, the opposition are hoping for a draw. When England play Albania, Maguire hasn't put a foot wrong for England. Maguire scores against England and silences the haters.
He did have that game we got sent off as well, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. People seem to position it. You know, certain people, they never let their country down, and it becomes a parable. It becomes true because so many people say it without actually exploring it. He was terrible in Italy the other day. He was terrible.
But I don't, yeah, but...
And do you see how your question didn't acknowledge that at all? He was actually terrible for England in Italy, and the reason that Italy got back into the game was because of Harry Maguire's idiocy.
But I didn't say what I said is at major tournaments.
Yeah, you're being very clever. You're being very clever here. Good work, Ollie. Yeah.
I said at major tournaments, and actually, let's be fair, there's not... The point I was making is there hasn't been a game at a major tournament when Harry Maguire's been playing where you can actually outright say, right, that was his fault.
But that's because England are sensational. That's because England are sensational, and the vast majority of time at tournaments, you're playing teams that you're better than. You're playing teams like think about our group in Russia. The second that England played a team that were capable of beating us, okay, Maguire didn't put a foot wrong. We were phenomenal. Yeah, mate, we played Sweden. The second that we played a team that were capable of beating us in Belgium, Belgium beat us. Yeah, twice, in fact. Yeah. The second that we come up against Croatia beat us. We haven't managed to...
He was at Leicester then, though, to be fair.
Yeah, fine. What I'm saying is, look, there have been times when I've liked Maguire, and 2018, I think he should have started. But playing for your country should be a meritocracy. And Harry Maguire doesn't deserve a place in that team. Southgate has backed him, but unfairly, in my opinion.
Okay, so let's say he does move to West Ham, or he moves to, I don't know, let's say Villa, that kind of club. I don't think that would be an option that Villa would explore. Has a fantastic season. Really does play well for that kind of club. Does he earn a place in that Euro squad for you?
Absolutely. If he is...
So he can play his way back into your
ranks. I don't have a an irrational disliking of Harry Maguire. I don't particularly like him. I don't particularly like the way he conducts himself. I find him quite arrogant. I think, when he talks and he says he has nothing to prove. When he scores against Albania and he puts his fingers in his ears like Kim Kardashian. I don't like that conduct. But I don't have a prejudged vision of him. If he can play for West Ham shoot up the table, do really well in the Europa League, and he has a reason as to why they're doing well in the Europa League, sweet, get him in the England team. But he has to earn it. My issue with Southgate is that he doesn't earn it. And to be totally honest with you, this situation that we are pushing at the moment, he does well for West Ham, they do well in the Europa League. This is all hypothetical. I don't believe he's going to do that. I don't think he's that kind of player. I don't think he's going to... Look, firstly, I don't think he's going to end up at West Ham. Manchester United have already pushed back on this. The problem that West Ham have now, everyone knows that they're caked. Everyone knows that they're caked. So why on earth are they going to... Why on earth are they going to do a deal for Harry Maguire where they don't have to pay for him effectively and they will pay a percentage of his wages, even all of his wages? There's nothing in that for Manchester United at all.
No, not really. Talking of Manchester United, though, with him now not the club captain, who for you should step into that role? There's a lot of candidates there.
There's a lot of candidates.
There's one fan favourite, but firstly, let's get your thought. Who do you think should step into that role?
It's interesting. I've never really thought about this. There are a lot of candidates, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's the opposite of Chelsea. When I was trying to think of the Chelsea captain, I genuinely couldn't think of one. Whereas now I'm looking at this Manchester United team. Do you know who I think it should be? Because I think he's a sensational footballer.
I think we think the same person.
I'm going to say somebody fairly unpopular, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I think there's like you, Rory.
There's a world where you can make a case for the obvious, but I actually think, because I think he's a brilliant player and his will to win is so Manchester United, I think it should be Bruno Fernandes.
See, right, so this is what...
Oh, wow, you disagree, don't you?
I do disagree. This is what a lot of the fans think as well, which
they're saying that?
They're saying Bruno Fernandes.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, so am I. Mainly because you look at how he conducted himself in that game against Liverpool, where they lost 7-0, one of the worst days in Manchester United's history, easily. He was on the pitch. I think he pushed an assistant referee. I think the worst moment for me is when he got called to... Erik Ten Hag was making a substitution, and it was Marcus Rashford who was coming off. And Fernandes was making signals to the bench saying, oh, go on, bring me off.
Yeah.
I've had enough. I can't be bothered to carry on losing.
You're very precious.
Ridiculous.
You.
No,
you.
why?
I'm making this about you.
Why?
You are very precious. You're being very precious about this. So he threw a strop when his team was suffering one of the most humiliating moments of any Manchester United fan's life.
Yeah.
Because that's the standard. How do you think Manchester United fans were behaving in the away end?
The standard should be that you stay on that pitch and you take the responsibility. Not call for yourself to come off the pitch.
The fact that I think there is some debate around whether that actually happened. But let's say it did. The fact that he threw a wobbler in one of the worst nights of a Manchester United fan's life forever. Look, if you've been around from when Manchester United were founded, that is still one of the worst things that could ever happen to that. They will be singing about that night on the Kop when our great-grandchildren are in the stadium, right? Yeah. That's how long this is going to last. And he threw a wobbler. Good. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
No, because there's throwing a wobbler and there's the way you throw
He was unprofessional. He behaved like a fan. That kind of thing. Look, we can be... I think my take on this will be in the minority.
No,
but I've got no issue. I've got no issue with a player behaving in the way that a fan would. A player letting his emotion get a hold of him.
Okay.
He represents the standard of Manchester United, and he knew that was so sub the standard that he couldn't really cope and he didn't know how to react, and he reacted badly.
Okay. The other reason why I think that it shouldn't be Bruno Fernandes, as much as it's looking like it is going to be him, is because there's also another outstanding candidate.
I can actually think of three.
Yeah, easily.
I mean, there's the obvious one. You know when I said who I think, and you said the obvious one for me, I thought you were going to say was Marcus Rashford.
Oh, see again, not him.
It's the Mancunian thing.
No, that's a good shout. I hadn't thought of Rashford, actually. I think that would be a good shout. Casemiro, come on.
I'm not sure about Casemiro being the main candidate. We disagree on a lot today.
We are, yeah.
Why
not?
I don't think he's a winner, but he's been sent off.
He can't speak good English, apparently.
Okay, so he doesn't speak enough English.
No.
He doesn't play enough, often due to his own temperament.
But I mean, therein lies another debate. Do you have to be starting every week to be the club captain?
Of course you do in this situation. Maybe not every situation, but in this situation, Manchester United you do, particularly off the back of Harry Maguire being the captain. Like the point of stripping the captaincy of Maguire is to go right, new standards, new approach. Our captain's in the team. We've had a year with this clown off the, dealing with it. We've had a year of this. Let's move forward properly now. So no, I think that the captain at Manchester United will start next year, and
Martinez.
I think Martinez, Varane
as well.
The people on the table: Martinez, Varane. I was just thinking for a second, Luke Shaw, but been at the club a long time now.
Yeah, he has
played very well, goes under the radar, seems to be harshly treated.
Again, leads by example in a lot of ways. Do you know what? Rashford's a good shout. I hadn't thought of that one.
Rashford is, in my opinion, the obvious shout is Marcus Rashford. The second, my opinion, is Bruno Fernandes. But I thought that we were going to go, Marcus Rashford is everybody's choice. Marcus Rashford is the obvious candidate. Marcus Rashford is going to be the new captain.
It's funny because, I was interested looking into it this morning and looking at what most of the fans are thinking. But I have to say, you thought you'd be in the minority saying Fernandes, but I don't think you are. I think that he's the one. I think a lot of fans are saying he deserves to be the captain. He has been the guy that has led the team when Maguire hasn't played as well. So, look, perhaps he deserves that chance. And actually, sometimes it does work when you've got a player who potentially, misbehaves on the pitch or is a bit angsty on the pitch. If you give them that responsibility of being captain,
Wayne Rooney. When Wayne Rooney was made captain. Yeah.
Listen, we'll see how it all goes.